Hello, seventh grade. We are going to go into JA Finance Park mode. Everybody should have their workbook. You can open to page 3 and you'll find that you have what's on the screen in your book. And we're going to just talk through the directions together to make sure everybody's filling out their book and preparing for an assessment in each of the 4 areas: income, investing, debt and credit, and budget. And after that, we will be ready to go to JA Finance Park and experience a simulation of your abilities, what you've learned about personal finance. Very important. So the first thing is read page 3, and then in your own words, write a definition of the 4 vocabulary words. Write a definition in your own words of abilities, aptitudes, income, interests, and values. Now, why are we talking about these words here? Abilities are things you do well. Aptitudes are things you do well naturally. Income is money you get for working on a regular basis or through investing. That's called passive income. Interests is what you like and enjoy, and values are what you think are important. Feel free to use any of those things I just said or what you see here in your notes. And the reason we're talking about that is because you got to consider these when you consider how you are going to earn an income in life. So this is really, this first part is about self-discovery. Just thinking about, let's be a little introspective. Who are you? What do you like to do? And what do you think your job will be? Okay, so it says, let's explore your interest. What motivates you? What are you truly passionate about? Do you possess strong social skills? Are you a good team player? Do you value taking risks and learning from your mistakes? Here are 10 basic interest areas and space for another entry. Rate your interest based on what you know about yourself and what family members, friends, and teachers have told you. Put an X in the box that best describes you. All right, so in your workbook on page 4, you can just check the box that best describes you, and then think about your top 3 interests. This will give you an idea of, the career, what you want to be when you grow up, the answer to that question. Do you have to know exactly? No, but you should start thinking about it because it's going to take up a big portion of your life. All right, once you're done with that page, well, first of all, pause the video and complete that page. And now we're going on to rate your abilities. So now on page 5, everyone has different abilities and aptitudes. Knowing what you do best will help you decide which occupations you may want to explore. Put an X in the box you think best describes your ability level in the following areas. Add additional entries to the bottom of each sheet. So you can add 4 other abilities that you have outside of the ones you see here. And check off whether that's a strong ability for you, average, or whether you're weak in that area currently. And then list your 3 strongest abilities at the bottom of the page. Pause the video, complete this page, and click play. Moving on to rate your values. When thinking about a job, what is most important to you? Since most people work to earn income, pay is definitely important. But a career should give you more than money. It should also, oh my gosh, I'm adding words. It should fulfill some of your personal needs or values. Put an X in the box that best describes how you feel about each question. Okay, so work values, variety, physical activity on a none. Check the box that describes how you feel about that particular value. And then list your 3 top values at the bottom of the page. Pause the video, complete that, and then click play. Okay, so now, based on what we filled out, you can put your worker profile here. What were your top 3 interests? What were your abilities there? And what were your top 3 values? That creates your worker profile. And that is the end of the income 1 lesson, but we're going to just keep turning the page and we're going to look at income lesson 2, careers. Being career ready means doing a number of things well. Creativity is essential for many 21st century occupations. You will need strong academic and problem-solving skills too, as well as the ability to apply those skills in a future job. Keep in mind, selecting a job does not mean choosing it for a lifetime. It is possible to select a job within a general occupation area, then branch out and try a related job. The Department of Education's career cluster model has 16 broad categories that link to more specific career pathways, each with its own knowledge and skill requirements. The categories encompass virtually all occupations from entry through professional level. And so, go ahead and write down 2 takeaways from this information here. And let's also read what a career cluster is. A career cluster is a grouping of jobs and industries related by skills or products. So we have examples. If we turn the page, we can see an example of career clusters. Well, now I don't. Oh, okay. I see an extra page right here. On page 9, record what you hear from a classmate. Rate your team's performance. But you're going to go to career clusters here. So these career clusters means you have like the main idea of some sort of need, and then underneath you have all the different jobs that are included within that. Agriculture, food and natural resources. And so we have producing, processing, marketing, distributing, financing, developing agricultural commodities, resources including food, fiber, and wood products. So when you think of agriculture, you probably think of a farmer, because generally that's what we see. Agriculture, we think of that farmer on his John Deere tractor mowing down the corn, harvesting the corn, right? But it takes a lot more than just that guy to have that industry fully functional. It takes the processing plant. It takes marketing to get those things sold and to the people that need them. Distributing, it takes the actual transportation. Financing, we need other people looking at the money. And so you can see each career cluster involves a team of different types of jobs working together to make whatever it is happen. So what I was confused about, this is your page 9, but it's page 10 in this book. All right, so let me just pause the video really quick. Again, I got a little stuck, but we're back on track. So what we're gonna do is take this page here, Exploring Your Career, which is page 11, and write 3 careers that you might be interested in based on the career clusters that you see here. And do a Google search to figure out the salary or median pay. And in the box here, check off whether it matches your interests, abilities, and values. And then in the boxes that are blank below, write off any other information that you find about that career. Okay, and that will complete your income 2 section of the workbook. And we're going to go through one more right now, income 3, taxes and my income. Okay, so the idea of a successful career in a big paycheck is appealing. What you may not know is that your take-home pay will be reduced by taxes that are automatically withheld from your wages, salaries, and tips and paid to the Internal Revenue Service, the IRS, in most state governments. The IRS enforces tax laws enacted by the United States Congress, which is responsible for the nation's tax system. Most everyone who holds a job pays income taxes. You too need to develop an understanding of taxes and be prepared to deal with their impact on income. Tax knowledge is an integral part of personal financial management. In this lesson, you will learn about the 3 main sources of tax revenue: income, sales, and property. You will find that U.S. citizens and residents are required to file annual income tax forms and must pay any additional tax owed to the IRS or state government, or apply for a refund if they have overpaid. Finally, you will determine your net monthly income, NMI, using income tax, Social Security, and Medicare deductions, also known as FICA, Federal Insurance Contributions Act. As you complete your workbook activities, you will also become familiar with the terms gross annual income, gross monthly income, net annual income, and net monthly income. All right. Write down 2 takeaways that you are taking away from all the information that I just read. All right. You ready? What are taxes? If you earn $10 per hour and work 40 hours a week, you'll have $400 to spend, right? No. Gross income, the $400, is different from net income. Net income is the amount you have left over after you pay your taxes. You should highlight that. It's very important. It's what you actually have to spend. Taxes are funds or money that local, state, and federal governments collect to pay their bills. Taxes, which are required, pay for the services government provides. The income tax, sales tax, and property tax are 3 main sources of tax revenue. Many of these services are for things people could not afford individually, such as maintaining an army or building a highway system. The federal government, sometimes in partnership with states, uses tax money to pay for the programs to help the country and its citizens. All right, so that's important, armies and highway systems. That's why those some of the reasons we pay taxes. What is federally supported? So here are some things that your federal taxes pay for: Social Security, Medicare, and other retirement programs. National defense, veterans, and foreign affairs, interest payments on the national debt, physical, community, and human development programs, natural resources, environment, transportation, job training, and education programs. Social programs like Medicaid, food stamps, health programs, unemployment compensation, and assisted housing. Law enforcement and government administration, federal prisons, FBI, CIA, and the general cost of the federal government, including the collection of taxes. What is state or city supported? Public schools, local libraries, police, jails, and courts, local parks and recreation, social services, firefighters, elections, mass transportation. all of these things are paid for by tax dollars. It is preferable to pay for these items with tax dollars. Oh, is it preferable? Or be charged as each is used? What do you think? Go ahead and write whatever it is you are currently thinking. And then unpause the video. What are taxes? An overview. Okay, so we have the 3 taxes they talked about, although there are others. Let's read them. Income tax. An income tax is a tax on earnings from wages, salaries, tips, interest, rents, and capital gains, and dividends from stocks. It is the largest source of revenue for the federal government. Each year or before April 15th, American citizens calculate what they owe in taxes and pay an amount due beyond what was withheld from their pay or request a refund. Federal income tax is based on the income of individuals or businesses. This is called progressive taxation. The higher the income, the greater the percentage paid. The IRS relies on citizens to be honest and responsible about paying their income taxes. This is called voluntary compliance. Income taxes are figured on a pay-as-you-earn basis. The tax is an estimated amount. It is employer's responsibility to withhold tax from wages and deposit it with the IRS. So what happens is I get paid every 2 weeks, and my gross income is one number, and then what I actually get in the bank is smaller. And part of the reason is the taxes that are taken out, income taxes. Sales tax, which you have also paid. Sales taxes are a source of revenue for most state governments. Each state decides its own sales tax. Delaware has none. Yeah, we know that. Counties and cities also may charge a sales tax. Some items are taxed and some are not. Items not taxed are called tax exempt. Some taxable items are household items, restaurant food. And right here, we're going to want you guys to do a Google search and find a list of other taxable items and write them in right here. Pause the video and do that search. What are some taxable items in Laurel, Maryland? Okay, non-taxable items, groceries, medicine, medical services, and insurance. Not all states exempt groceries from sales tax. Additionally, the other items listed may or may not be exempt in some states. What is taxable in one state may not be taxable in another. And lastly, property tax. Property taxes are based on a property's value. This includes homes, cars, commercial buildings, and factories. Property value is determined by local governments. Property taxes are often the primary source of local government income. Local and state governments use their sales and property tax revenues to pay for services and facilities such as public schools and libraries, streets and streetlights, police, jails, and courts. And go ahead and search up what things are paid for by property taxes and see if we can find 3 more. All right, here we go. Jason's paycheck. So we can see Jason has landed a summer job working as a paid intern for a medical research company. His paycheck shows the deductions from his pay. More than likely, his paycheck will be automatically deposited into his checking account through direct deposit. See Jason's sample earnings statement below. So this is called a pay stub. And so we can see that he has earned $960 in pay, but then $114.14 was deducted for federal taxes, $42.24 for state. He had to pay Medicare, that's health care for the elderly, he had to pay $13.92 to that, and he had to pay $59.52 in Social Security tax. So all these are paying for other people and other things other than Jason. And so he earned $960, but $229.82 were taken out in taxes. And so in the bank, he gets $730.18. Before you say, man, I want the whole thing, just know that this is how it works. We have to pay taxes. Okay. So we're gonna skip through that. We want to do this together. Okay. So now get a calculator out, and we are going, and I want you to work with me through these calculations here. So Jamal works at a recreation center 15 hours a week during the school year. He earns $8.75 an hour. In a typical month, he works 63 hours. Calculate his monthly taxes below. So the first thing we're going to do is he works 15 hours a week during the school year. Gross monthly income. So we want to do 15 times 4. It's a lot of hours to work a week. And then we want to multiply that by his hourly earnings. Oh, okay. Oh, actually, we don't need to do 15 times 4 because it says he typically works 63 hours. So we'll just do 63 hours times 875. What would that be? 63 times 875 is $551.25. So that is his gross monthly income. But then out of that, we need to multiply that number by 10%, which means multiplying it by 0.1. So let's make sure we know the percentages as a decimal. 6.2% would be 0.062. 1.45 would be 0.0145. 4% would be 0.04, and 0.1% would be 0.001. So we take all of these numbers and we multiply them by 551.25. So multiplying that by 10% is 55 point. No, it's 55.125. So we're going to round up to 55.13. When we multiply it by 0.062, go ahead and do that. Make sure you get the same thing. We get 34.177, 34.18. Monthly Medicare, so I'm going to take and multiply 551.25 times 0.0145. And we get 7.99. So it's going to round up to $8. Monthly state tax, 551.25 times 0.04, $22.05. Monthly local tax, 551.25 times 0.001, 55 cents. Well, that's not too much to ask now, is it? And now we're going to add up those deductions to get our total. 55.13 plus 34.18 plus 8 plus 22.05 plus 0.55 So the total monthly deductions for Jamal are $119.91. And so we subtract that from 551.25. Minus 119.91. 431.34. So that is an example of doing the actual calculation. And so now I want you to try the last two and then make sure that you get this work in blended learning checked. So the work you do on this page, which is $19. You gotta get that checked in blended learning. Okay, that'll be part of what we do. Sound good? And then once you do that, you will know how to calculate your income when you get your actual career. And so that concludes the income section. Stay tuned next time when we talk about investing.